Welcome to Octane Mobile Gaming. Welcome once again to the channel. Today we take a look at the water commander deck that is out for the next event, and the next event is an Arcane Killer event. So we're gonna jump right in. We're gonna have a look at the ultimate form, which is Black Flag Maroonders, and this ultimate form is able to create 13 power gem 7s. Then it will upgrade all water power gem by 1 rank. It's got a free turn cooldown, which is quite nice. It's got 2 passive on board, the first of which creates an additional 6 water power gem 7s and heal for 3000% of hero recovery. What I like about this ultimate form is that it's got a lot going for it. I mean, the second passive, which permanently increase water commanders damage by 30%. 30% is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but 30% will aid you in the wave fights. Now, most cards out there, you have to actually activate the battle skill to get a damage or an attack boost. This one, you've got a permanent 30%. That permanent 30% will actually give you an increase in your damage throughout the wave fights, which is quite nice. I really like that. The next thing I like about this ultimate form is a second passive, which gives you 6 water power gem 7s every time you attack. Now, on attack, creating that 6 water power gems and healing is quite nice. That will be quite helpful in the wave fights. Now, the battle skill, which gives you 13 power gem 7s. The reason why I think it's 13 power gem 7s and not actually 14 power gem 7s, because alongside the passive, that will give you 20 power gem 7s. So this card would have been able to give you 20 power gem 7s. However, it does give you 19 power gem 7 whenever you activate the battle skill, and the passive creates its 6 power gem 7s. That's 19. That's quite nice. It's a really good supporting card, and I think it's quite nice. I think it's one that if you get it, or if you can get it, is something nice to have in your collection. Now let's take a look at the counter skills. Now the counter skill is armor and fear. These are not 2 debuffs, they're actually buffs for the bosses. So if you've got cards that dispels all debuff, this week the only debuff we've got is blind, which is annoying and can be counterproductive. Fear, we had fear last week, and most of you might know that fear can be really nasty. Now, armor is not too bad, however it's also counterproductive. It wastes time, it can be quite frustrating. So all 3 buffs and debuffs, because so we got 2 buffs and 1 debuffs. So both buffs for the bosses and one debuff that they're running this week, you need to dispel all three of these. To dispel all three of these, you will need the ultimate form that dispels 2, and you will need another card to dispel blind. So let's take a look at the other cards that we've got. So we've got the Master Collection card, Captain Jinx, and this one will create 13 Power Gem 7s as well. It's got a free turn cooldown, and it has got the passive that will permanently increase your damage by 30%. We all know that we are able to get 2 Master Collection card if you've got the historical card and you do get the main hero, and you've got the Master Collection card and you've got the ultra rare, you can get a second copy of the Master Collection card. Now, having 2 Master Collection card alongside the ultimate form will give you 90% permanent increase to your deck. We have got other cards out there that give us bigger increase to our damage output. We'll take a look at some of those a bit later, but this is quite nice. This one will dispel fear, which is quite good, but it's only got fear 6. So 60% of the time you will dispel fear. However, when you go up against ultimate bosses, as their level get higher, you won't dispel their buffs and debuffs as often. So it's always good to have a card whenever you activate the battle skill, it dispels both buffs and debuffs. That will be quite useful. Now the next one up will be the ultra rare. The ultra rare Iron Sight Maiden will upgrade all water power gem by 1 rank, and its passive will create 6 water power gem 7s. Now, of the 2 cards, the Master Collection card and the ultra rare creates a lot less power gems. It doesn't give you any boost, but it does upgrade all water power gems on the board to 1 rank high. For me, I've looked at it, and when you've got a card that gives you, say, 100% damage or 120% damage increase, the minimum is 80. When you've got a card that gives you 80% damage increase, I always find it's more useful than having a card that upgrades all power gems on the board to 1 rank or even 2 rank. It does give you a bigger bang for your buck. However, this one upgrades all power gems to 1 rank higher. The Master Collection card only gives you a 30% damage increase, so this one will be far more useful than the Master Collection card. So of the Master Collection card and the ultra rare is a far more useful card from my perspective than the Master Collection card, even though the Master Collection card gives you 13 power gem 7s. Now let's take a look at this is a support card for this week. Now the support card has got a really nice battle skill. Now the battle skill for the support card cleanses 5 debuff. What this works out to be, it cleanses 1 debuff from all member of the team. It doesn't matter what card it is, what type of card it is, what affinity card it is. It just cleanses 1 debuff from each card on the team. So if you should put, say, this card on, say, a fire team, it will cleanse all debuff. It will cleanse 1 debuff from every single card on the team. So this card is kind of useful. It does create 8 water power gems and heal for 2000% of your recovery. You might find use for that. Don't know when you'll find use for that, because 8 water gems is absolutely rubbish, and 2000% heal, not pretty useful. So the usefulness about this card comes from its battle skill, where you can actually cleanse 1 debuff from each member of the team or each card on the team. That can be useful. This week, however, it's kind of useful, but not really that useful, because the bosses are running 2 buffs and 1 debuff, so you need a card to probably get rid of the 2 buff. Fear and armor are going to be, well, blind. All three buffs and debuffs that they're running this week is pretty annoying. So we need to find cards to get rid of all of those. The main hero for this week, which is this one, it will create 7 water power gem 4s. It's got a 3-turn cooldown and it permanently increases self damage by 20%. Now if this was 20% permanent increase for all the cards on the deck, if it increased the damage output of the deck by 20%, I think it would have been far more useful. Pretty useful it would have been, especially with somebody down in the Paladin League, the Knights League, or even lower. This would be really useful. However, it's kind of useful, but on the other hand, it's not that useful because the 20% damage increase is only for this card. It's got the ability to create 7 water power gem 4s. It's not power gem 5s, but 7. I think it's a step forward. 10 would have been much better, but I think it's pretty nice. Not really decent, but pretty nice. Now that's your deck for this week. Is it a really powerful deck? No, I don't think it's a powerful deck. Is it a nice deck to have? I think it's a nice deck to have. Is it a deck that you need to have? Going forward, I would say not really. Because as I just explained, if you've got a card that can give you, say, 10 water power gem 7s and a damage increase of say 100 or 120, it's far more powerful than this card. But this card is a really good utility card going forward. Combine this card with a card that's gonna give you 120% damage increase and even 8 water power gem 7s or 8 water power gem 6s. This card will increase the damage output of that card quite significantly. So let's go ahead, take a look at some cards and see what we've got within our arsenal. Now we've got Uprising Ven, which is one of the 2 past ultimate form that will give you the arcane killer boost. Now Uprising Ven, its battle skill increases self damage by 200%. Now self damage is only for this card. If you've got an X card that can increase the damage output of the entire deck by say 80%, that 8% will go on top of this 200%, so this card will be increasing its damage. The next thing that it does, it creates 6 water power gem 5s and it attacks for 5000% of recovery and heal for the same amount. It cleanses one enemy debuff, it cleanses one enemy debuff from each water commander on your team and dispels one enemy buff. Now this is quite useful. The fact that it cleanses one debuff from each member of the team and one buff from the boss is really good. This is something that you can use up against the ultimate bosses. Now this card is unstoppable. It means nothing stops this card. The battle skill will activate and the passive will activate, so nothing stops this card. Now it's got a passive that creates an additional 4 water power gem 5s whenever this hero attacks. So whenever you attack, this one will give you 4 water power gem 5s, and with its battle skill it's giving you 6 water power gem 5s, so this card can create a maximum of 10 water power gem 5s. It's not high level water power gem, but it's a really decent and a really useful card to have on your deck for this week. Now this is the ultra rare from the Uprising Ven's deck, Bloodblessed Brawler. Now Bloodblessed Brawler will increase self damage by 200% for 2 turns. It will create 6 water power gem 5s. It will cleanse one enemy debuff from each commander on your team and dispel one enemy buff. That's the reason why I'm running these 2 cards together. Now with these 2 cards you can actually cleanse 2 buffs and 1 debuff. So going up against the ultimate bosses, these 2 cards are going to be really important. This card also is unstoppable, so nothing stops this card. It hasn't got any passive on board, but it's a really nice card to have for this week. It's going to be one of your main damage dealers. So Squall C Tempest. Squall C Tempest, this one is nice, not really that powerful. It does create most of its power gem passively. So what it does, it creates 4 water power gem 6s on attack for the next 3 turns. So when you activate the battle skill, you will not get any gems on the board whatsoever until you attack. So when you attack, that's when you will get your 4 water power gem 6s on the board. It's got a 3 turn cooldown. However, it will create those power gems passively over 3 turns. So you will get those power gems over and over on every turn. It has got 1 passive on board. It increases water commander damage by 100%. Now slap that 100% onto the 200% on Uprising Coven. You've got 300% damage for Uprising Coven, which is quite nice. Passive, Storm's Fury. Increase. Just read through that, so I'm not gonna go through that again. Thought it was a second passive, sorry. So this one is Insurgencies, which is the ultimate form for the same deck. The one that I just mentioned is the Master Collection card. Now what this one does, it creates 4 water power gem 6s and heal for 5000% of hero recovery on attack for the next 3 turns. So what this one does that this one doesn't do, this one doesn't heal with its battle skill, but this one heals with its battle skill, and that heal comes from the ultra rare. It's got a 3 turn cooldown, so for 3 turns you will get those 4 water power gem 6s, and you have got 2 passive on board. So the first of which will create an additional 6 water power gem 6s at the end of each turn. So this one will give you a maximum of 10 water power gem 6s. The second passive, which is Storm's Fury, increases water commander's damage by 100% on turns where you start with 10 or more water power gems on board. So this passive is actually activated by having 10 or more water power gems on the board. So having Insurgencies and Squall C Tempest, you will create 8 power gems passively, but you do create power gems passively with other cards, which will give you your 10 power gems on board, and you get that extra 200% damage increase on top of the 200% coming from your 2 main damage dealer, which is Brawlers and Uprising Coven. You've actually got 400% damage increase on those 2 cards. Now this card, the Jailers, increases Arcane Killer's attack. What it does, it increases enemy turn count by 1, then it creates 5 Earth power gem freeze plus 1 more per 100 Arcane Killer intensity. It's got a 6 turn cooldown, however, but what it does, Optimism, whenever he delays the enemy turn, it increases Arcane Killer's attack by 1200% for 1 turn. This can start multiple times. The only problem we've got with this card is pouring it up and actually it's 6 turn cooldown. Those are the 2 problems we've got with this card. But if you had that 1200% on top of that 400% damage increase that we're getting, these 2 cards, Uprising Coven and Brawlers, should be able to deal probably 2-3 quadrillion damage quite easy, depending on the layout of your power gems on the board. So I think this combination is a nice combination to run. However, as I said, powering up the Jailers is gonna take quite some effort because you've got loads of water power gem being produced passively, and those will override your earth gems on the board. So you might be able to find another combination that will work probably a bit better than this one. Now this one, it's 4 of the same cards that I just showed you with the addition of Trojan Lovers. Now Trojan Lovers will increase Water Commander's damage by 120%. So with Trojan Lovers, Squall C Tempest, Insurgencies, you're actually getting 320% damage increase. Put that on top of the 200% you're getting from Blood-Blessed Brawlers and Uprising Ven. Both those cards will have a 520% damage increase. Now Trojan Lovers also reveals a weakness on the target for 3 turns. All standard attack against the exposed weakness will create 3 Water Power Gem 6s. It's got a 5-turn cooldown. However, whenever another Water Commander attack, it heals for 1000% of your recovery. Not too interested in that. It permanently reduces damage taken from all enemies tapped by 10%. That's okay. Not really interested in that. What I'm interested in is actually putting out the most powerful attack that I can. Now, the activation sequence for this combination, you will have to activate Insurgencies, Squall C Tempest, and Trojan Lovers first. Then you attack, and after you attack, then you will activate Blood-Blessed Brawler and Uprising Ven's battle skill, and then you do your main attack. Again, you have to remember to activate Trojan Lovers, Squall C Tempest, and Insurgencies battle skill the turn before you activate Blood-Blessed Brawler and Uprising Ven's battle skill. So this deck is half and half, not really half and half. It's basically 3/5, 2/5. You activate 3 cards battle skill the turn before you activate the next 2, and this will give you a decent damage output. So that's my second deck combination. Might change, might not change. Okay, this is a Slayer combination. Might work, won't work very well, because you'll have the affinity boost and the killer skill, but you will not have the event boost, which does give you a decent amount of damage added on top of everything that your deck does. What I'm running for this one is Frozen Devastation, Lost Kingdom Guardians, Valhalla Vanguard. Valhalla Vanguard is a really useful card, and it's useful because it's got the ability to create 30 power gems on the board, 30 power gem 7s. So this one creates 10 water power gem 7s now and at the start of the next turn. So for 2 turns, it creates 10 water power gem 7s. When ambushing, it gains the bonus attack buff for 1 turn and create an additional 20 water power gem 7s. Now, that's a one-time offer, that extra 20 power gem 7s, but that can be pretty useful. And that one is quite nice utility card when it comes to creating water power gems. If you haven't got the ultimate form but you have got the ultra rare does almost the same thing. It can create 30 water power gems when it's ambushing, and after that it just creates 10 water power gem 7s. It doesn't do it over 2 turns like the ultimate form. This one does it for 1 turn. You've seen the Jailers before, which is a pretty useful card. Some other useful cards is Metaverse Master. Now Metaverse Master will give the card that activates its battle skill after it 150 damage buff for 1 turn. However, it is a dark commander ultimate form, so it will create dark power gems. You have to activate it before you activate all your water commander cards, because it will override every single power gems on the board. It is a nice one to use. It was really useful over the last event, and I think it can be useful this event as well. Lost Kingdom Guardian is one that can be used. It does create 14 power gems when it's ambushing. It goes down to 7 after that. We've got far better, far more useful cards like Valhalla Vanguard that does pretty much the same thing, but it just creates higher level power gems and far more power gems on the board. Phantom Unseen. Phantom Unseen is one that you could use if you haven't got anything better. It does create a number of power gems. It does fill the board with power gems, but it's not high level power gem. What does it? Creates 5 power gems, 6s, reduce the damage taken from enemy attack by 10% for 1 turn. It speaks Bloody Mary. Now what speaks Bloody Mary it is basically a status. It's a status that goes up to 3. When it goes up to 3 and you activate either Phantom Unseen or Bloody Mary, it actually fills the board with water power gems. What it does, Bloody Mary creates 30 water power gem 4s every 3rd time Bloody Mary is spoken, consuming these stack in the process. So it goes up to 3 Bloody Mary speaks. You activate this card battle skill or this card battle skill, it fills the board with power gem 4s. Not power gem 6s, not power gem 7, power gem 4s, but it can be quite useful. However, to get the 3 stacks of Bloody Mary speak, you will need to use 1 Bloody Mary, 1 Phantom Unseen, and you will need to use this relic on board. Now what this relic does is the Phantom Unseen will speak Bloody Mary twice when they use their battle skill while this relic is equipped. So when you equip this relic, Phantom Unseen, instead of giving you 1 stack of Bloody Mary speak, it gives you 2 stacks of Bloody Mary speak. If you activate Bloody Mary first, she will give you 1, they'll give you 2. So each time you activate both cards, you will fill the board with power gem 4s. But it's 2 cards you'll have to put on board and a relic to actually get that to work. So if you haven't got the relic and you haven't got if you haven't got the relic, basically it will be the second time you activate either of these cards. So when you activate this one, then you activate this one, you won't get the full board of power gem 4s if you haven't got the relic. You will have to wait until the next time their battle skill is ready. You can activate either Bloody Mary or Phantom Unseen. Either one will give you a full board of power gem, and the next one will give you a few power gems and give you 1 Bloody Mary speak. So the turn after that, one of these cards will give you a full board of power gem 4s. Can be quite useful if you haven't got anything better, but if you have got something better, do use it. I'm just showing you these cards because these are cards that can be quite useful during the next event. Now we're gonna take a look at the news link, and the news link for this week is this one: join a crew raid upgrade. And it's quite a long, very long news link, so you probably have to read it for yourself. But basically what it is, each member of the guild gets a ship, and you basically upgrade the ship. You fix the ship, you upgrade the ship, you get grappling hook, you attack other people's ship, you destroy their ship, you get their grappling hook. It's quite a lot going on there. Not sure if it's gonna be exciting, but I'm looking forward to it to see exactly how it works out, to see the prizes that we get, because from experience most of these events are always disappointing. I've got VIP once again, was sponsored by a friend of mine who gave me 2 months VIP, and that's quite nice. So I'm actually gaining quite a lot from the VIP. Did manage to save up 11,600 gems. Went up to the 3rd tier. I'm saving the other 8,660 gems that I've got, and just keep on saving my gems. I will be doing the retro packs. I do try to do all retro packs when I've got the gems, so I will be doing the 3 retro packs that will come out for the event. I normally go up to the 2nd tier. That is 3,000 gems. That's the reason why I never normally go up to tier 4, because tier 4 of the vault costs me 2,500 gems, and I'm only getting 1 relic, 1 main hero, and 3 coins. I don't think spending 2,500 gem is actually worth worth it. It does give you a chance to actually get either a Master Collection card or Ultra Rare, but that is 1 in 100 chances. You never really get it most of the time anyway, so I rather to just save my gems, do the free retro packs. That's an extra 18 coins you're getting for just adding an extra 500 gems onto that 250 that you would pay for tier 4, and you get an additional 18 coins. 18 coins. I think that's a far better investment than spending 2,500 gems on tier 4. Just put an extra 500 gems on top of that 2,500. Do the three retro packs that comes out. Get an extra 18 coins. If you go up to tier 3, you get 9. 18 and 9 is 27. So each event you can get 27 coins from your vaults and your retro pack. When you play the event, if you're not VIP, you get extra 6 coins on top of that. 6 and 27 is 33. So you got 33 coins each event. You work it out, you do the maths. You can actually craft 2 ultimate form for the season. So it actually works out. That's all I've got for you today. Tomorrow I will be doing the possible deck combination. I will be playing around with my deck, and I'll show you the final combination that I come up with tomorrow when the event starts. So until tomorrow when we do possible deck combination, if you got a question, leave it in the comment section below. If you got a suggestion as well, you can leave it in the comment section below. But it's